Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. Presents Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, a show that shines a light on spiritual growth, health, purpose, and financial education. It's time to emerge and begin to live out your dreams, walk into your destiny, while making a difference in the lives of many.
Welcome to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. I am your host, and I am just so excited to come before you another Thursday. This is the second Thursday of the month. Happy second Thursday. And if you have been tuning in the last few months, this is a special show. But just want to remind you that the show is being sponsored by Women Emerge Network, a network created for women, men, and children to help bring families' dreams, their destinies, and their businesses together. This show will introduce you to leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. It is time, y'all. It is time to grow your mind, your spirit, your brand, your business, and truly your finance. And it's always an honor. I'm smiling so much, y'all, because I am excited about the show. Why? On yesterday's show, I talked about something in this sense, right? I talked about the infinite banking concept, and I told you guys that the man of the hour will be on the show today, and he is none other than Mr. Tony Chamblee, the CEO and the visionary of Core Financial Partners. Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure and a lot of fun to do this type of talk. I'm always interested in it and looking forward to being able to share anything that talks about becoming your own banker.
Thank you so much. And I want to really kind of talk about something. I know that we are going to talk about infinite banking concept, but I want people to understand Core. And when I tell you Core is now in my blood, and I just love our mission, our 4S mission. It's the survival, security, success, and significance. I want to tell the listeners, why did you and your wonderful wife decided to say, we're going to guide people with these 4 S's, which is survival, to security, to success, to significance?
Well, we decided because we believe it's a part of the blueprint and the game plan to arrive where most people want to arrive when it comes to their financials. So, we were there. We was at survival. Then we had to work our way out of that and get to, from survival to security, and then from security to success. And then we're working on significance. Now, everybody's at a different place, and that's what I love. We don't judge anybody where they are because we've been there, done that, and got the T-shirt. So it's all about where are you? We know how to get to the next step. We know how to guide you to the next step and inform you to the next step. So it's all about where we come from. So we didn't start this business practice off of greed. We started from need. And now we just reaching back and helping out as many others that will want to be helped and guided to be most efficient to get into their goals.
My God, I hope y'all heard that. We did not start this business from greed, but from need. I just love, when I tell you he's a humble man, he's truly a humble man. But the philosophy behind Core also speaks to me so truly. More money doesn't get or keep you out of financial situations. Only financial education does. Please, I want you to share with the listeners, why would this be the philosophy of Core Financial Partners?
Well, it's a philosophy because for me, I was in entrepreneurship since year 2000. I had finally did well in corporate America up until 2000, and I got into for entrepreneurship. And I had a good run for 7-8 years. We had a good run. We was able to really live the lifestyle that we prayed about and that we desired. However, though, if you remember, if you're old enough, there was a financial crash that happened in 2008, 2007, 8, and 9. Well, we were in the middle of that. And being in the middle of that crash, we realized, like, what happened to all the money we made? We was making 5 to 6 times more than we were when I had a corporate job. And I went into entrepreneurship and made the money that I thought would sustain any crash or any challenges, and just not so. So I realized and started reading books about money. I'm like, I don't know anything about money like I thought I did. I realized I went through personal development, Melissa, and I realized I learned how to communicate with people, how to lead people, how to love on people, all the skills I needed. I didn't have the money skill. I didn't have the money acronym. I did not know how money really works. And so that's what took me to learning more about money. And I realized you can work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and have a successful business and make a ton of money. But one thing I know, those who understand money and have the education that's needed know how to get the money from us. So our ignorance is their wealth. And so we realized that, LaToya and I, we said, you know what? We're no longer going to be victims of that. We're going to at least learn what we need to learn, and that learning turned from passion to purpose, and we decided to, reach back and teach it to as many people about what we learned as we could.
Wow. Again, you are tuned into Woman Emerge with Melissa Lambert, and we have our special guest every second on Thursday, Mr. Tony Chamblee, the president and CEO and the founding partner of Core Financial Partners with us. And truly, I love having this conversation because when I tell you he is really a truly devoted man to help people. He is truly devoted to help people create their legacy, build wealth, and also give them the wisdom that they need so when they know better, they can do better. So, Mr. Chamblee, one more thing I want to kind of talk about because I love the creed. Trust God, help people, love people, and use money. The creed of Core Financial Partner is to trust God first, to love on people, and also learn how to use money. Why these three, or why this order of, God, people, and money? Because, nowadays we turn it around. Money, people, and then God. So tell us, why did Core decided to now put this order in place for the creed?
Well, because we got it inside out. We normally take and trust people versus God. We end up, trusting people. We end up loving money, right? And then we end up using God. And so we use God like a 911, right? So we was like, that's not in order, right? Because that was my life. That was me. When things got hard, I'll be on my knees, right? With no question about it. So we realized, let's trust God, love on people because people can hurt you. We realized we cannot think it's always people. We got to know it's the enemy that's coming and attacking us, and he uses people. So we got to love on people. We got to love each other. We got to forgive each other, right? And then we know money is only substance. It's only the in-between to get to what you really want. Money is just it's the tangible to get what you want. If we take money, Melissa, out of the equation, what good is money? Mm-hmm. It's no good. If I can get everything I want in life and have the good life, right? Love my family, love my friends, and love my community, what would I need money for? Money is the only, it's the betweener. That's all it is. And we have to keep it in perspective. We have to use it, right, and not love it. And that's why we have come up to that creed. Trust God, love people, and use money, and we cannot get it twisted.
Cannot get it twisted. And I love that. I love it. I love it because when you put God first, the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God And
that's right.
all this righteousness, everything shall be added unto you. And because of that reason, CORE exists not just for people, but first for God. Then to love on people so we can show them the truth on how to use money for their benefit. So I know something also special about you, Mr. Chamblee, and we have talking about this from the beginning stage of a start in this podcast with you every second Thursday of the month, that you are a certified IBC practitioner of the Nelson Nash Institute. Tell us about that, because now we're going to dive right into what infinite banking concept is. What is this? What is this certification all about, and what is IBC? What is the IBC, and why are you a practitioner of the Nelson Nash Institute?
Sure. Being certified as an IBC practitioner, number one, was the greatest accomplishment that I had in my life up to that time when I became certified in 2019. And it is because of the man, the legend that really got IBC started. He discovered it through his own trials and error. And, the Lord appointed him to see that it's so much design, it's so much inside of a product through a mutual insurance company policy, well beyond the death benefit that most people only focuses on, that he discovered become your own banker right out of something that is right in plain sight, right? And so he's brought it out. Even for the insurance companies that's been around 100 years, did not even see what's inside of their own product. And so him doing that, he started, mentoring a lot of people across the country. And to make sure we knew it inside out, they created a Nelson Nash Institution where you go there, you study, you learn, and you take a test to show that you know everything that it is to need to know about life insurance and how to design it like a bank. They teach it to you. You test to make sure you show yourself approved, and you get certified when you pass the test. And that's what I did. That's one of the most intense moments in my life to get that accomplished. We were the first in Delaware. We were amongst the first 300 in the country. And I'm proud to say we've at least had about 10 of us come out of our firm, out of 300 people across the country, that was able to, study under our teaching and education and academy that we provide to our consultants. So we're really creating an army now to get this word out there, because we believe there's still less than 1% of citizens in our country even know that it exists or have heard of it and don't know how it really works. So that's why we got certified, to know how to engineer it in the software, how to make sure it works the way a bank works, and how to set people up where it's long-term generational change that comes with it as well. So we're excited about that.
That's amazing. And I can't wait, because I already declared to you that I will be taking and sitting my test on or before December 31st of this year. And I know that you are going to help me through this journey with your lovely wife and the academy that we're going to be going through starting September. So I know that there is so much for us to do. So let's get into this concept, because IBC is basically the infinite banking concept. So for those who have not been listening, I hope that you guys can go back to I think we started this in April, right, Mr. Chamblee?
I believe April. Yep, I believe April was the first month.
Yeah, so you guys go back to the April and the May and the June, right? This is July. And I want you to just give a summary what the infinite banking concept is, because today we're talking about the benefits of it, because people need to understand what it really is and the benefits that you are getting when you decide to say, I'm going to be the bank. So give us a concept, the idea. I know that Mr. Nelson Nash is the person that founded this concept and was able to put it together to now make it make sense, not only for us to know, but also for the insurance to know what their, like you said, what their product does. So for those who are just tuning in, what is the infinite banking concept?
The infinite banking concept is positioning you as from the me and you level to be the controlling factor of the banking function in your life. Right now, we've given up the banking function of our life to the traditional banks that we live amongst, right? And because they control it, they leverage it, and they now benefit from it. If you take on the control of the banking function in your life and allow all your finances to come through your own, internal system, you'll now benefit in a manner that the banks are benefit. So one thing we were taught is, look, don't do what the banks say, do what the banks do, because they always going to tell us deposit our money into their, banking system. And then when we need money, they're willing, if you show credit worthiness, to lend us money as well. And then when we borrow money from them, then again, it's not just paying the principal. You got to pay them interest, right? And that's one of the things that's going on now. The average household, Melissa, spends about 34.5% of every dollar just in interest, not talking about principal. So let's do the math real quick. A household can bring in $100,000, and over years and years of studying, the average household is going to spend right back out just in interest, $34,000, give or take, out of $100,000. Wow. That's a lot of money, a lot of wealth that's being sent away forever. And so what we're looking to do, how do we revert or transition and reverse that back to us and still do what we have done with those dollars in the past, but now recapture those interest costs back to us. Now, here's the reverse of that, and then we can get into the other part of this. The reverse of that, somebody under the sound of my voice, I can hear you. I don't use debt no more. I'm over that. I use cash. But guess what? Cash is the very same thing as you paying interest. Watch this. You're giving up interest, because once you separate yourself from buying a car cash, going on vacation cash, paying for education cash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you've given up the ability for your money to grow into the future, right? Mm-hmm. And now you're no better off than the person that's paying interest. You're giving up interest. That's called lost opportunity costs, right? You've separated yourself from the ability for those dollars to grow for you in the future. Both are flawed. And what we are teaching here, when you control the bank and you borrow from your institution, your own banking institution, you're the bank, and you get a chance to profit from the interest you're paying back to yourself, there goes you being in control and you being able to grow wealth for generations to come, because you're the bank, not using traditional banks.
Wow. I'm so glad that we exist, because I want to give you an example of what happened to me on Monday. My traditional bank, I went to pay a bill that was over $3,000, and they stopped the payment, denied it. And I'm like, why is it denied? So I looked at the account. I said, I got money in the account. Tried it again. I said, let me just do 25 instead of the amount I was going to do. Denied again. So I decided, let me call this bank, because I see the money there, not realizing they capped me at $2,500 a day.
Wow.
So just imagine, we got to ask permission to use our money. So I had to call, get permission for an increase on my own money. Mr. Wow. Chamblee, make that make sense. My money's sitting in the bank that I put in, but I couldn't access it. Why? Because they limited me. They're controlling my money, and I have to ask permission to take my money. So she said, let me just now give you a courtesy increase for today. I said, a courtesy? I said, ma'am, this is my money. What you mean courtesy? You know, that's that's the point. I just don't. We have to understand why we do what we do, and when there is something like this in that is coming up for us to really get a hold of it, get the control back into our hands, why not? So when we talk about the benefits of this, what is the first benefit a person can say receive when they decide, you know what, I want to take up Mr. Chamblee, I'm going to take up Melissa at this and say, you know what, I want to start my own infinite banking concept. I want to be my own bank. What is the first benefit that a person can look forward to with this program?
Sure. I would say the first benefit is protection. Your capital becoming your own, in the system of becoming your own banker through a special design whole life contract allows you to be safe from creditors and lawsuits. And I say that. I had a client that literally while we were putting hers in place, she had money sitting in her regular traditional bank, and because her creditors was making a call for the rest of her balance, they end up putting a levy on her bank account. They were taking out thousands of dollars to get their balance settled from her account without her approval. And they able to do that. They literally can go through the courts and get to your regular traditional bank and get to your money. They can't do that here. They cannot do it with one of these type of accounts set up, once again, in a whole life contract. So safe from creditors and lawsuits, and that's a big, big deal. Also, while I'm saying that, let me say this last thing. The last thing to that is also is invisible for parents out there. Is invisible, right, to the government when it comes to you wanting to get to have financial aid for your kids to go to college. That's why the wealthy stuff as much money into these accounts because it's invisible. So all of their retirement money, their investment money is invisible to them, and it doesn't work or count against them for the kids to be able to get funding to go to college. That's another thing about this one, safe from creditors and lawsuits, is also invisible as well.
Wow. And every time I hear that, when you say this, I think about Mr. Trump. You know, many people don't like him. You know, to each his own. I'm not a for nobody or against nobody. But when I think about just how much money that how many lawsuits, but he still is a wealthy man. Why? His money's tied up in this. Because it cannot, most of his stuff cannot be touched, you know. So when you think about the furthering benefits, what are other benefits that we can look forward to when it comes to being our own bank?
This next one is what everybody goes after, and that's to get guaranteed returns and growth, right? One thing I love about this is I don't compare it to an investment account. This is where you are just setting up to warehouse your money so you can go and be an investor, right, and leverage it, right? However, though, you can never lose money here. It's a guaranteed return of at least 3% plus dividend that allows your money to have a nice growth. It's guaranteed to grow every day, to be honest with you. When you look at how it grows every single day, every single month, every single year, and it's guaranteed, right? So you can't say guaranteed anywhere when it comes to securities. And securities is Wall Street. Securities could be some sort of a mutual fund or something like that, or 401k. They can't even think it. They will get into trouble, planners and advisors. But here we know we can say it because it's in the contract. And that's why the banks put all that money in these contracts, because they understand this is what they call safe money, which is tier where they put their tier investments, tier one investments. Tier one investments is always safe, but it still give you growth from it.
Wow. So basically, once we start our bank, we don't have to worry about the interruption because it's going to grow for us.
Absolutely. One of the things that was, or concepts that was taught centuries ago by Albert Einstein, the rule of 72 on how money grows, And a lot of people, you might have heard of before, the thing that is missing in the teachings of that, it can't be interrupted, though. We can't build money up to spin it down. We can't build it up and then got to spin it down. That seesawing of money, in and out of money, it interrupts the growth and it interrupts your financial independence day. And we've figured out and have in our possession and in our concept how you can overcome that. And now you'll get there twice, 3 times, if not even faster than the average person that does not use this concept.
So how does this now play into taxes when it comes to benefits?
Sure. Well, when it comes to taxes, wealthy people know taxes is the biggest wealth depleter. It's the biggest hole in most people's personal economy. So the wealthy spend money to avoid taxes, not to evade. Mm-hmm. You cannot evade taxes because that will put you behind bars. But to avoid taxes means you got a smart accountant or you have a smart consultant, right? So here you can rest assured that you have tax-free growth, and you might know it better as capital gain taxes. You don't have to worry about that here, the way we grow it. You have tax-free withdrawals. Come on now. Most people have their wealth set aside for retirement in an account that is going to hit you upside the head as you're in position for retirement when you least want to have to pay taxes, right? And that's where here we don't have to worry about it. We can get to those years that now we want to enjoy life and not worry about the growth that we experience and having to worry about taxes and not worrying about the withdrawals we're going to make to worry about taxes. So here's the third thing about taxes, tax-free transfer. What does that mean? Most people, Melissa, want to leave a legacy. And I find most clients is tussling between, I don't want to expire all of my capital to live now and live a good life in retirement, quote unquote, I like to call it financial independence, and not leave my kids and grandkids anything, right? And so now they minimize their lifestyle in those senior years. But here, knowing that you can transfer using one of these contracts, special design whole life policy, it's tax-free. You can leave millions of dollars tax-free. And so this is why this is one of the best-kept secrets out there, that you're getting tax-free growth, withdrawals, and transfers.
My. Wow. Again, you have been tuned in to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert. We are talking all about money today. We have our special guest, Mr. Tony Chamblee. He is the president and CEO and the founding partner of Core Financial Partner. He's also a certified IBC practitioner. That means he knows what he's talking about, guys. He's talking about this infinite banking concept. He's authorized to talk about this, and I'm so excited that we're talking about the benefits. And the first benefit we talked about, that once you decide to, and it's a decision, y'all, make the decision, because regardless of the matter, you're getting a check written in your name and you're handing it to another bank. You're doing that anyway, right? And I hate, one of the things I don't like when people say, Mr. Tony, Mr. Chamblee, is that, I got to wait until I get some money, y'all. I can't do this right now. But guess what? You're doing it anyway, but you're doing it for somebody else and not your name. Yep. So I love the fact that with the benefits that you talked about so far, safe from creditors and lawsuits, guarantee returns on growth, tax-free transfer, growth, and withdrawals. So tell us about, you talked about a traditional bank. A traditional bank, we can go in and ask for a loan and wait for approval. How does this work with this concept? Are we able to get a loan from here?
Absolutely. Here in this position of becoming your own banker using IBC concept, you can literally warehouse your money inside of one of these policies, right? And up to 92% that's your warehousing this policy with, you put warehousing your capital inside this policy, you can get a loan and it's guaranteed. So what I mean by guaranteed, you don't have to, show any proof of having good enough credit for them to decide on whether to lend you money. So you're guaranteed a loan, right? And we don't encourage someone not to have good credit, because I think you can leverage good credit in such a good way. But what I'm saying here, you don't have to make that the reason why, right? So that's one thing. Here's another thing that's real important to those under the sound of my voice, especially if you're into, as an investor, real estate investor, is that this does not count against your debt to income, right? This does not count against your debt to income. So you don't have to worry about whether you have to put in an application to get a loan. Once you get this set up, you're guaranteed a loan, and you got first call to loans. The money's being lent out like they are a big conglomerate of a company. They've been around for over 100 years. However, though, they're not going to keep money still, because money has to be velocitized in order for it to grow. So it's always loans being made and being paid back. But when you call for a loan, it's always going to be there for you. It's guaranteed. Right, and you don't have to worry about being approved for it. It's just the amount that you need has to be validated that is up to at least 92% of what you have in there. So in other words, you have $10,000 of cash in this contract, you can get a $9,200 loan guaranteed. If you have $100,000, you can get a $92,000 loan guaranteed, right? And what's great is it doesn't count against your income, right? You can't withdraw money out of a 401k and not count against your income. This will not count against your income, and you won't be taxed on it. So I can go on and on, but those are the major benefits of it being a guaranteed loan, and that's why the banks use it. That's why corporate America is using it. If you want to not take my word for it, you don't take my word for it, go look up BOLI and COLI. They both are acronyms for bank-owned life insurance and corporate-owned life insurance. They both are using them, but they would never tell you and I about it.
Wow. It just amazed me how this information has been kept a secret from so many of us. And finally, the secret is out, guys. The secret is no longer a secret, because we're opening up and we're telling you that it does exist. You can have your own access to your own bank, and you can get, be safe from creditors. You can get guaranteed returns on your growth. You can have a tax-free transfer, growth and withdrawal. You can have guaranteed loans option. And when it comes to, is this a structured loan or unstructured loan? How does that work when it comes to now paying back the loan that we've actually borrowed from ourselves?
Right. That's a great question. Right. Guaranteed loan, right? Now, how do you pay it back? You have 100% autonomy on how you pay it back. You have an unstructured loan, meaning you put in place how you put a payment plan back. You could decide not to make a payment for a year or two, right? You have 100% choice on how to pay the loan back. You can get a $10,000 loan back and say, I just want to pay $10 a month. Well, I want to pay $100 a month. Well, I want to pay $1,000 a month. It's totally up to you, 100%, right? We do encourage you to pay it back, though, right? And that's a whole structure of how to do it once you decide to do this. We will consult you on how to be the most efficient with it, but you don't have to, right? It's a collateral position that's already there. Remember, they're lending you their money, not your money. Your money's not being taken out, so they have a collateral position, and you can go and do the things you do and allow your money to still grow.
I mean, where else can we go borrow money and not pay back? We can say we can pay back a year from today, or we can just pay whatever we can. If it's $50 this month, $1,000 this month, the next month, $100, and where else without the creditor calling our phone day in, day out, bothering us for this money, putting a lien on this payment, going to your account, going into your job to get their money. We can't do that nowhere else. Borrow and then pay back however and how much we want to pay, but we can do it here. And you said something, and I want to make sure we're clear when we're thinking about this the benefit of, again, we're talking about the benefits of becoming your own bank, utilizing the infinite banking concept, which core financial partner, we have many people, including the president and the CEO who is on the line today, Mr. Tony Chamblee. He is a certified IBC practitioner. So he is ready and able and willing to show you how to set this bank up for yourself. So say, for instance, I'm just going to give you an example. Say, you know what, I got an extra 10. I want to close out my 401k and now take that $20,000, $25,000 I have and start this bank. And I'm going to now say, hey, Mr. Chamblee, I have 25. Tell me what I need to do so I can actually put my cash somewhere into my new bank. So am I going to now drop that money into this bank, and do I have cash available to borrow from?
Sure. You do. It's an approval process. Once you get approved, and you end up having that money submitted to the insurance company and into your account / your policy, and you give it about a month, and you can make a phone call, or you can, for the most part, you can make a phone call and make a request for a loan, a policy loan. And what's great is, let's say you did, drop in $25K, and you need, let's say, $20K, right? And obviously that's not over the 92%. So they're sending that money to you. They're validate who you are, validate the amount, and making sure it's not over 92%. And that's sending you that money. And that money would give or take a week for you to receive it. And if it needs to be expedited, you can get it within 24 hours. So you can do this, right? And here's the deal. Here's the thing that got me excited. When you borrow the money out of your 25, you borrow 20. How about is your whole 25? Your whole 25 is there. The $20,000 you're borrowing, or any money you're borrowing, is coming from the insurance company's general account. Remember, the insurance company's been doing this for over 100 years, and they have billions, if not trillions of dollars sitting in their general account. Remember, they always lending money to these big conglomerates that we see, doing business, right? So you're doing business like the banks are doing business now. You're borrowing money but not using your money. They're giving you their money. Your whole $25,000 is growing with the interest and dividends that is accruing in your policy. And that is a beautiful place to be in. Anybody that is under the sound of my voice and you want to be an investor, or you want to buy assets, or you're buying assets, this is the way to do it. This is not, listen to me clearly, this is not an either or. This is an and, right? This is not an either or. Tony, do I do this and do my mutual fund? Do I do this or I do real estate? Do I do this because I get a higher return over here? No, it's both. You put money here, borrow from it, and let the insurance company be the investor for your investment. Hopefully that makes sense. Because when I was doing that, I was like, are you kidding me? Now I don't have to take any risk on my money. They're willing to take the risk because guess what? They don't ask you one time, what is the money being used for? Wow. You can't go to a traditional bank and borrow money and not give them a written statement and every detail about why you're borrowing the money. And then you got to be approved. You got to be credit worthy. Your debt to income ratio got to be right. Here you have to worry about none of that, and it's always their money that you're borrowing. Hopefully everybody's getting that, because I get that question a lot. It is never, ever your money when you're borrowing it. Only when you withdraw it. Never withdraw. Always borrow.
Wow. So basically your money is not being interrupted, because money interrupted don't make money. So that's basically we're focusing on understanding we are using other people's money, and that's the other people is called the insurance company. OPM. Wow. OPM, using other people's money. My. Right. I get excited because the more, and I hear your excitement because the more we share this information, it's like a light bulb comes on. And that's the reason why, Mr. Chamblee, I wanted you to be on this air to talk about and piece everything. Just cut this piece out and let's talk about it. Cut this other piece out and let's talk about it. Why? We want it to make sense, because if it can't make sense, you can't make no dollars. And if it can't make sense, you're going to stay at the traditional bank that you are and losing money rather than making money. So we want this to be very clear to you. And every second Thursday of the month, I need you to go back to the beginning and hear it, write it down. And then we're going to talk about our Wednesday seminar. We host a seminar every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we want you to be invited to be there. So, when we think about the last few, we're going to wrap this up, but we have some other benefits, and I really want to talk about even the control. Like, you talked about liquidity, and you talked about control. You talk about transferable and all the living benefits in it. So tell us a little bit about the other form of benefits that comes with owning your own, becoming your own banker policy.
Yeah, let's start with control. Just studying wealthy people, being mentored by people that really understood how to attract, gain, and advance wealth. The number one thing that always came out most of their mouths was control. If you can't control it, you can't leverage it. If you can't leverage it, you can't build it. Control. Who is controlling the banking function in your life is so important. Right, because I was a part of the traditional way of doing things, putting money in qualified plans, putting money in positions where taking a lot of risk and things of that nature, right? So if you're not skillful as a trader, you're not skillful at looking at the bear market, right? If you're not skillful at these things that are going on, you want to make sure that you get control and keep control for sure. The thing also that's important to know about these type of accounts, they're not. I wouldn't say they're accounts where you compare to an investment, right? So the thing that is taken away here is there's no volatility. There's no, is my money going to lose money, right? I know many of us, the closer we get to retirement, after all the years we put money away, it's a concern. Is the market going to grow for me, or is it going to be a loss for me? That today, this month, this year, right? You don't have to worry about that. It's guaranteed. I watch it on an often basis. It grows every day. Not one time have I ever seen that it over time period lose money for me, right? The next thing that's important to know is that you don't have to worry about penalties. We're putting our wealth in a place where we can use it later for our second life in quote-unquote retirement, but then we have needs right now. And then when we go get it before 59 and a half, what do they tell us? They slap us on the wrist, right, and say, look, if you want the money, you're going to pay for your money. You're going to be penalized. Do we realize that we're only out of the penalized phase of these type of qualified plans like 401ks, 403bs, things of that nature, TSPs, only about 11, 12 years? You can't touch it until 59 and a half, and then you have to take a certain amount out by 50, like around 51 and a half to 52 years old. They've been changing it, right? So that's about 12 years, give or take. That's the only years you're out of penalty phase, and it's your money. You don't have to worry about that here at all. Also, you don't have to worry about a 1099. You know why people receive a 1099? You can have money sitting in a traditional bank and it only pays you less than 2%, and you're going to get a 1099. Why is that? Because of capital gain taxes. If you ever wonder, why am I getting a 1099 from my bank account? It's called capital gain taxes. Uncle Sam says, hey, you forgot I was your uncle? He wants a piece of pie too, right? So, hey, look, it's called the Willie Sutton law. Wherever money is, he's there to try to get it. And until we know how to hide it from him and be in control, they get it. And that's what we're here for. We're changing that. Also have quite a bit of living benefits. I could do a whole talk on this. Living benefits is if you have a serious situation, you can know that this contract that has a death benefit to it also have a living benefit if it's a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, where you can advance up to 75% of your death benefit while you're living. And I know these calls come in on the often basis of clients having needs for money while they're living. Because somebody can get into a health situation or a serious incident or accident, and they live. They live. What happens when you live but you can't go to work any longer? Do you know that happens more times than people die? Yes. Mm-hmm. You can now use that money that you probably have more need for while you're living than when you die, right?
Wow.
So here, that's not talked about enough, that more people outlive a situation, illness, or injury than people pass away. Unbelievable. When I'm watching this, Melissa, I just talked to the home office of one of my companies today, and they were telling me how many calls come in with people that have to use the living benefits. And it's at an all-time high right now. I'm like, wow. So that's something that we're going to make sure we hammer and be more clear about in the future. Last thing is, if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you can also have deductible contribution. Deductible contribution means you can actually have your premium payments be deductible. You can have your loans if you're using it for your companies, there's a scenario on doing it. I'm not going to go over right now that it can be deductible, right? So, get with the consultant that understands this, particularly with core, right? And make sure you kind of add to your team your tax professional to know how the deductibles could work for you and your business and your family. So those are the benefits that it's many more, though, that we really embrace and we constantly continue to share, knowing that you're taking normal dollars that normally sit in a traditional account, right, like a bank, a money market, or whatever, and it only gives you probably one job, and moving over here, we just went through about 13 benefits. Your $1 has 13 benefits versus your $1 in another institution only have one job. One job or 13 jobs from the same dollar. Which way we think we'll be better off at, right?
That part.
So that's where we are with that.
Wow. You have given us so much knowledge. You've dropped a lot of nuggets. And I truly believe that every listener, we have to now understand when information like this is given, it's not given for you to brush off. It's not given for you to say, I'll think about it. Guess what? Because you are operating in the system anyway. You have been programmed to go get you a checking account and attach a savings account. You've been programmed to take a check that's written in your name and deposit it into somebody else's name, which is your bank, right? You've been programmed to move money uninterrupted all the time where there's no growth. You have been programmed to ask for your money and be told how, when and how you need to use this money, how much you can use on a daily basis. You have been programmed. So what Mr. Chamblee is sharing to you right now, yes, it sounds very different, absolutely. But guess what? It's been done for years. It's been a secret from that the wealthy has kept away from those like ourselves. And now the secret is out. Thank God for Mr. Nelson Nash, who has really saw the need to bring this thing up to all of our knowledge for us to now take a seat at the table. Mr. Chamblee, we can sit at the table together just like the bank does and be the bank. So thank you so much, Mr. Chamblee, for your passion, for your desire to teach, for your desire to be able to allow us to be in the know and no longer hiding away from something that really will change so much a part of our life. This right here can set up legacy. This right here, and we didn't even touch on the kids. We haven't even touched on debt, how we can use this to get out of debt, Mr. Chamblee. Yeah. There is so much that we can do. So we're about to wrap it up, but I want you to share with us every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we have a seminar. I call it a seminar where we can come and understand really what the infinite banking concept is all about and the truth about money. And I say it's by invitation only because you got to be invited to the table, right? And we welcome everybody. But when you come to this table, I want you to take a good seat. I want you to pull up a chair and write down all the information because it's going to be a lot to take in at one sitting. But when you get it, when you hear the information, Mr. Chamblee always say, don't keep us a secret, because now that you understand what's in the know, it's time to make sure your sister, your brother, and everybody that you know knows about this concept. So, Mr. Chamblee, tell us about this seminar that you host every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Sure. Yeah, we're hosting it on Wednesday just to further education on how this works and why it's important to set it up and invest into your family's present and future. And the investment is nothing that you invest in us. We're not even charging you. If you join that seminar and that online workshop, we're walking out of there giving you a complimentary consultation. We'll walk you through some of the benefits and how it could be structured for your situation. We'll get some of your information from you to figure out how would it work best for you. So that's what that's set up for. It gives you a different layer of understanding when you be able to see what we're talking about versus just hearing, because a picture, as we know, tells 1,000 words. So, you can go to where would you like for them to go, Melissa, for them to get the information about how to join that? Would you want to go to our website?
Yes, let them go to their website. And, I am your corepreneur that will be helping you. Mr. Chamblee and I are the ones, whenever you've heard from this every Tuesday, just put myself, Melissa, and Mr. Chamblee. We're going to be the ones that's going to guide you through getting this bank set up. So yes, Mr. Chamblee, share with us all the links, how the readable links and the debt, cancellation.
Yeah, let's start with that one.
That we can get. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's start with the debt strategy short video. That'll really get you going when you watch that. If your person have a mortgage or have any type of sort of debt that you'd like to get rid of, go to core, C-O-R-E, debtstrategy.com. And when you watch that short video, that's going to allow you to put in there a request for a consultation or talk to someone like Melissa mentioned her in there, and we'll know exactly how you heard about us. Okay. The second video actually gives you short series videos on how this works as well. So go to learnmorewithcore.com. Learnmorewithcore.com. Okay. And once again, if you're under the sound of our voice and you've heard this from one of our other consultants, just be sure if you go there, and it allows you once again to put your information in. Feel free to let us know who referred you, and we'll be sure that you get the right attention that's needed. The last website is our general website, which is Core Financial Partners with the S.com. Core Financial Partners. Right, Core Financial Partners with the S.com, and that's our general website that has different videos on there, different understandings and information on there that can really enlighten you and make you more aware of, why you want to start the IBC concept with you and your family and your business partners as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Chamblee, for being the voice of reason when it comes to understanding how money works. We truly appreciate your leadership here with Core Financial Partners. I thank you for being my mentor. I thank you for taking me under your wing to be able to teach me this concept so I can be a blessing to my family, a blessing to my community, and a blessing to those who I haven't met yet, and a blessing to many people that are going to give us the referrals that we need to help, because I'm on a mission, 1,000 plus families before the end of this year, Mr. Chamblee, 1,000 plus families. And those who are listening right now, you are part of that. And how you're going to also be a part of that, you're going to share this. Don't keep us a secret, and tell some friends, tell some families that they too can be their own bank. So, please follow me on Facebook at Melissa, Mellisa Lambert, also Women Emerge Network, Women Emerge Wellness, as well as an IG at Women Emerge Now. You can definitely tune into, again, if you want to learn how to do this process and you want to make an appointment just to kind of have a consultation, CoachMelissa.com. Go to Coach Melissa, spelled MELLISA.com. I will put all the information about Mr. Chamblee and how to get to all our core sites so you can be aware, and don't forget for any of the core, if you're listening to this information and a corepreneur shared this with you, please get back with them. We are one team, one voice, one dream, and our goal is to impact the nation. And so if you've heard this from someone else, please give them the respect and go back to them and let them know, I love it and I'm ready. I'm ready to come to the seminar, and I'm ready to get my consultation, and I'm ready to set up my bank. What do I need to do? All right. So again, Mr. Chamblee, thank you so much for being here. We truly appreciate you every second Thursday availing yourself to share with us the truth about money. Until next time, everyone, take care. Mr. Chamblee, thanks again for everything, sir. I appreciate you. Any last words before we close it in, sir?
I just want to thank you for trusting me, believing in what we're doing here, and being a part of it now, being a part of the mission, the crusade, and our philosophy. And everyone out there, let's now take control, right? Be in position to leave the legacy you desire to leave for you and the next generations to come. Thank you for having me, and I can't wait for the next one.
Wow. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. And like Mr. Chamblee said, let's take control. Until next time, take care, take charge, and continue to be great. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Women Emerge with Melissa Lambert, where Melissa speaks with leaders, experts, and motivators who share their journeys and their stories through personal and professional growth, knowledgeable tips, and lessons learned that will empower you to grow. Follow Melissa and Women Emerge Network on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at MELLISASLAMBERT and at Women Emerge Network. And visit www.womenemergenetwork.com. Remember, when you know better, you can do better, especially when God is for you.